Alright, now this is a video I've been wanting to do for a long time, and what I want to do is take some of my lessons that I used to teach live and show them to you here on my channel. And I'm going to start with this lesson that I did quite a long time ago on how to draw manga faces and manga heads. And we're going to draw a thing for the face that I call the boat, because to me it looks like some kind of rowboat sitting in the water. And I'm going to show you some tools that I use and that I teach my students when I'm teaching live. And if you've been following my grid series on how to draw front view faces, this is the grid that I teach you how to use. It's a 10 units tall by 6 units wide. Now this is on an 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and we're not going to use that big a sheet, but I just showed it to you because it's easy to think about 3 inches in each one of these blocks here, and then 1 inch up here, which total of 10 inches, and then 6 inches wide. Here's the grid that I developed, that I made for using 11 by 17 inch paper, and you can see 10 inches by 6 inches. But that's too big for what we're going to do today. But I just wanted to show you that. So here we're going to use this little template here, and now I'm only using 3/4 of an inch. So 10 units of 3/4 of an inch by 6 units of 3/4 of an inch. So let's start. I'm just going to lightly do an outline here, and this is just so we have a starting point. And here's the halfway point. Okay, and then we know we're doing 3, 3, 3, and then 1, so we can draw a little notch here at 3. If I actually take my ruler and do this. Okay, there we go. So there's 3 units. That'll be the bottom of the nose. Here's 6 units. That'll be the eyebrows. And way up here we're gonna have the hairline, right? You guys all know that if you've been watching my grid series. Okay, and then we'll just mark those like that. Alright, so there we go. And so we're going to create this boat. The first thing we're going to do is do the top of the head here, because we've got this grid laid out. So this lesson is a little bit different than the one I had, only the order is different, not what we're going to end up with. Okay, so there's the top of the boat. Okay, the top of the head. And then we're going to come out a little bit wider here like this. And then we are going to do this. We know the bottom of the nose is going to be right here. Okay, like that. And the bottom of the chin is here. Now, generally speaking, most mouths are 2/3 of the way up from the bottom of the chin. So we know the mouth is going to be right here, the mouth opening. And that tells us that right here is where the chin is going to start coming in. Okay, right here. If that's the mouth opening, that's where the jaw starts coming in. And so what we can do, just get this chin line over here. What we can do now is we can, you can make the head as wide as you want. You could put it out to here if you want, but you only need to go a little bit past the line of the grid. Now I'm gonna get that, there we go. And you could use a ruler if you want. Okay, like I say, use whatever tools you have at your disposal. And actually, what you can use is you can use the edge of your template here. Now if you guys want me to make some of these and put them online so you can download them, you let me know. I could make a whole series of them. A little bit of work, but They're a handy tool. Okay, so there we go. Maybe I'll make that a little darker. Oop. Okay. So now we have the whole outline of the face, and that's the boat. And if we get our center line here, see, I don't mind guesstimating. In fact, I encourage you to practice doing things without measuring, but maybe not in the beginning. You know, if you're not comfortable, you don't have that sense of measurement that you want yet, then do a whole bunch of drawings by measuring things out. And just from doing it and seeing the correct measurements, your brain goes, oh yeah, I know what to do now. And you can pretty much go, oh yeah, halfway's about here, and make your drawings and adjust them if you need to. So that's the way I work. But when you're beginning, measure. Do whatever you have to do so that your brain gains a sense of measuring. And it doesn't happen right away. It takes a while. So if it takes you a while, then that means you're normal. Okay, there's the nose, there's the mouth opening. So basically, here's the old lesson. I would just say, you know, and I can do this, you know, freehand too. You know, draw two lines, draw the top of the head, draw two lines together for that. Actually, the thing that you would want to do before the chin is draw the two lines, do the top of the head, guesstimate the center, and then when you put the chin in, then you can figure out where halfway is between the top and the bottom. Okay, now we had the template, so we know our halfway is here. This is where we're going to put the eyes, right on top of here. So this is halfway. That means half of the eye is going to be above this line, and half of the eye is going to be below this line. Okay? Okay, I have a video that teaches you how to place the eyes and gives you the exact measurements and everything. But all we're going to do is we're going to say the pupils are going to be halfway from the center of the nose to the outside of the head. So we're going to guesstimate there's halfway. Do you agree with me? Maybe I could move it out a little bit like that. Okay? Like I said, guesstimate. Get used to, you know, develop your own sense of measurement. I think maybe just somewhere in there. All right, so that's where the pupils are going to be. Now, let's start with the top lid. And we're going to make nice big eyes. Not super big manga eyes, but nice big eyes. So we'll draw the top lid, and then we're going to draw like this the outside edge. Okay, and then we're going to do the bottom lid, but we're going to leave a little break here. Okay, a little bit of what they call broken eyes, because this is a little bit of a manga style. All right. Now we'll do the iris, and we'll do the outside of the iris first. And do you realize that the iris of the eye in a real eye takes up half of the total space of the white of the eye? So it takes up a lot. Now we'll do the inside of the iris like that. Okay. And now we're going to add the pupil. Okay, so let's get rid of those little lines in here. You know, we can just do a light erase like that. Okay. So we'll do the pupil here. And you know, when you draw lightly. Now I have to make it so you can actually see it on the screen, so I have to draw And I'm not drawing too dark here anyway, but draw really lightly so that when you ink it and then you want to erase your line work, the pencil work, you can erase it easily. So remember to always draw lightly when you're doing your rough sketches. Unless you're super advanced and you already know exactly what to do. Now we'll put in a little bit of a highlight here. Because what's an eye without a highlight, right? Alright, and maybe I'll make that top lid a little more. There we go. Alright, so we've got two eyes. And you can put in lashes. If I'm doing lashes, I just do it real simple, unless I'm, doing a more advanced drawing. So just 3 lashes is enough. There we go. And anything else here that we need to talk about? Okay, so that's the boat. So the boat shape is 2 lines that slant in, top of the head. Okay, find halfway for the center line, and then slant the chin in. That's all there is to it. Then find halfway from the top to the bottom, and that's where line you're going to put your eyes right on. However, if you want to make a really cute character, you can lower the eyes. So if I wanted to make more of a younger person or a cuter character, I would put the eyes down here. Or if you've already done your eyes and you're like, oh crap, I don't want to erase them, you can actually just raise the chin up, okay? And maybe that's what we'll do in this, just to show you how to do that. So we're gonna make the bottom part of the face a little smaller. So this was where the nose was. We're just gonna make the nose up here, like that. Okay, we don't have to do super realistic adult, proportions all the time. So if that's the nose, okay, then we can just say, okay, I'm gonna put the mouth here, like that. And then I'm going to shorten the chin. And there's the new opening of the mouth, so that's where we're going to slant the chin in from now. Okay? And maybe that's a bit too high. Now, the other thing you can do is, so now we're getting a little cuter of a character here. The other thing you can do is this. You can go up to, the cheekbone is here, right? And you can draw that in just by doing this little wedge shape or a little rounded shape for the cheekbone like that. You can shave off a little bit of the width of the face and even slant that face in more, like that. But the whole thing starts with this simple boat shape right here. 2 lines, top of the head, make your center line, make your chin, find halfway and put the eyes, okay? All right, so we've done that. Now, features. There's so many ways to add the features in, so many ways. And I've got all these different types of noses here. However, let's stick with, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you 2 types. The traditional manga little triangle, like that, okay? That looks cute. Now my favorite kind of nose though is what I call the M. It's a specialized letter M, and basically it's just this, the letter M. And sometimes I'll hook in like that, and then you can just do 2 lines for nostrils. So why don't you guys tell me which you prefer? I'm gonna stick with the M nose just because that's my thing, okay? And now what I'm gonna do is we'll put in, let's do a simpler mouth though than this. Okay, you can see here I have, what, 8 different mouths? So let's do this little broken line manga-y kind of thing. Real simple. Gonna put it right here on the mouth line, and then I'll give it a little bit of a curve, and then we'll just do the outside like that. Super simple. Maybe a bottom lip, right? But again, master the boat, and then you can develop so many kinds of faces. If you want me to do a bunch of these, just let me know in the comments, okay? So now we have a mouth. Let's get some eyebrows going here. And you can do as simple. Now remember, this is the eyebrow line. 1, 2, 3. Well, we kind of changed this, but the eyebrow, well, you know where to put the eyebrows. The only thing to remember about the eyebrows is if this is the corner of the eyebrows are actually in a little closer to the nose, and that's for eye protection, right? So nothing falls in your eye. It's almost like somebody designed it. Yeah. Okay, so there's our eyebrows, real simple. Now, my favorite kind of eyebrow to do, especially for girls or women or whatever, is this shape. I come down, I go over, and then I go up like that, because a lot of women I see shape their eyebrows like that, and then it goes like that. So that's the shape that I start with, and then you can put in the individual lashes, and then the top lashes go down like that, right? So there you go, 2 different styles. This one here is basically just a gentle curve, and you can thicken it if you want, like that. Or you can do this shape here, which is, excuse me, is this shape. Down, over, up, and then that shape. And then you can fill in the lashes as you wish. Okay, so you know what? I'm really enjoying going through this lesson. I remember it was always a fun lesson to do. Now, what are we going to do? We need to do some ear balls. We've already done the eye drums. Okay, how many kinds of ears have I got here? So many. Okay. Now, the ears are, the way I do them, are generally, I start the ears on the top, from the top lid of the eye. That's where I like to start my ears. And of course, they generally go down to the bottom of the nose. Now, I know some people have huge Dumbo ears and all that kind of thing, but most people, it's from the top of the eye to the bottom of the nose. I've got a 2-line ear, I have a 3-line ear, I have a 4-line ear, I have the C shape here, I have an advanceder one, C shape with like a question mark. I'm gonna do kind of one of my favorites. When I'm in a hurry, I do the 3-line ear. If I have a little more time, I like doing the 4-line ear, just to get it down. So that's what I'm gonna do. 1 line out. Now I'm gonna move this eyebrow shape out of the way here. So out, up, then I go out, then I come back down, and then I come back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's see if we can get the same action over here. 1, 2, 3, and then back up. 4. Okay? And then what I do is I put in the number 5. It's kind of a stylized number 5. Up, down, down, and then the number 5 like that. So boom, 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 boom. And then I do a backwards one here. Doom, 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 boom. And that's enough detail for the ear. Okay? So, hopefully this is making sense. Now, of course, people don't have pointy people don't have points on the side of their head. I get that. So let's shave some of that off and make it realisticer. There we go. Now remember we had Let's go back to our template here, just to show you where we started. 3 units from the bottom of the nose to the bottom of the chin, 3 units from the eyebrow to the bottom of the chin, 3 units from the eyebrow to the hairline. That's what this is here, the hairline. And the hairline can vary. You know, this is like 1/10 of the head here, but sometimes it goes to, you know, like a little bit down farther, so it's actually 15% of the way down from the top of the skull. So this is where we had it here. So anywhere from here down to here would be the hairline. And the way we're going to do the hairline is we're just going to come in a little bit like hair does. Your hairline comes in towards the eyebrow a little bit, then it goes back out, and then it goes up to whatever your hairline is. Okay, it could go here, it could come in a little more, it can come down to a widow's peak, right? A lot of people have that little bit of a point there. I'm going to take that out right now, but just so you know, you can do that. Come across the hairline, start to come in, goes back out. What am I doing here? Yeah, comes in like that, goes out again, and comes down here. There we go. All right, so that's a mess, so let's clean it up. Okay, right to here, and then to the top of the head. There we go. So now we have a hairline. Let's give this, I guess we're going to say it's a girl. Got the nice lashes. And we'll give it a crease above the eye. Okay. A thinner neck. Girls and women tend to have thinner necks. Not all the time, but, and especially manga. Nice thin neck. And remember to put the shoulders behind the neckline. When I'm doing, you know, a simple sketch, I like to do simple hairdo. I think we'll do a side part today. So what I like to do is I just like to decide where the part is going to be like that. Okay, and I can put it anywhere where you want to put the part. And then what I'm going to do is just draw a chunk of hair like this. Just like that. And then I'm going to draw another chunk of hair like that. And then I'm going to draw a big chunk of hair like this. And then on this side I'm going to try and mimic that. Out. Okay, we'll have to get rid of the little boat that we did here. Out, then in, then out. And this one, here goes the opposite way. There we go. All right, so I hope that makes sense. So let's get the eraser out and get rid of a lot of our construction lines. Now we have to make decisions here. Do we want the hair in front of all of this, or do we want to tuck it behind? But to make life simple, I'm just going to say, okay, the hair is covering all of this. Actually, let's do a light erasure here. Remember I said to draw lightly? Now you know why. And of course, you can go spend as much time as you want developing your hairstyle, details. You have to be careful not to over detail with hair though. Maybe a bit of a shine here. And another one over here, like that. And I'm just going to clip the bottom little corner off the chin here like that. Just round it a little bit. Now we have to decide on a style for eyebrows. I think I'm going to go with the simpler one for this, because it's kind of a simple drawing, or simple features is what I meant to say. Okay, and what I'm doing in the nose is I'm kind of making a shape that goes like this, like this, like this, and then like that. So boom, 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 boom. That's kind of the shape I'm trying for. And as long as it's something like that, it's going to look nostril-ish. Okay, something like a nostril. All right. And the head isn't that, so that's hair. So maybe I should get rid of that. And we'll make that hairline. See, doing too much with the hair already. Keep it simple, Jim. There we go. All right. Draw lightly. Let's finish this up. And of course we could ink it. You let me know if you'd like to see me ink this. If enough people say yes, I'll do it. Give the eyebrows another pass. And I'm going to say we are done. Again, I know you can spend so much time on, maybe we'll put in another little highlight here. You know, you can just detail it to death, right? But I think that's enough for what we're trying to accomplish here today. You could shade the nose. I like to do that. Let's put in a little bit of a nose bridge line there. Okay, and you know what? I liked it so much I'll give it another, just like that. You could put some shading under the chin. Alright, I'm kind of liking it. Okay, hopefully you got the main takeaways, right? Learn how to build this boat. Want me to do another one real quick? Okay, the boat. Start with the center line. Why not there? Angle one line in, do the other side, put on the top of the head, something like that. Draw 2 lines for the chin. Find halfway. And now there you go. You're ready to put in all the features. Okay, the eyes. The nose. The mouth. Okay. Shape the head you want. Let's do a curved ear this time. And a little S shape for the inner workings of the ear. Okay, give him a smirk. Maybe a raised eyebrow. What? Like that. It's all about the boat. Get the boat in there and everything else falls into place, right? Give him a little cheek. Curve them in. Thicker neck. We're gonna make this a guy. Right. The hairline comes in over the eyebrow, goes back out, goes back up to the hairline. Out, in, back out. And let's do a quick hairdo here. Like that. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And we are done. The boat works. And that's it. Well, it's almost it. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know if you want me to do any other variations. Let me know if you want to see me inking any of this stuff. You know, don't be shy. Like, subscribe. You know, I think it would really benefit you to go through some of these lessons. If you're a beginner and you want to establish a system, you know, for drawing that's fun and easy. Well, it's easy after you do a bit of work, right? Because you have to do a bit of work. All right, now I'm gone.